Welcome to our channel, where we delve into the eerie and mysterious world of the supernatural. Today, we are excited to bring you 10 terrifying encounters with the unseen. Get ready to be on the edge of your seat as we explore real-life scary stories and paranormal encounters that will send shivers down your spine. In this video, we aim to captivate you with a suspenseful and chilling tone, drawing you into each terrifying tale as if you were experiencing it yourself. Our goal is to give you goosebumps and keep you engaged from start to finish, leaving you with a lingering sense of unease long after the video ends. So, grab a blanket, turn off the lights, and prepare yourself for a journey into the unknown. Are you ready to uncover the secrets of the unseen and explore the darker side of reality? Let's dive in and discover the chilling encounters that will haunt your dreams. Encounter 1. The Haunted Mansion. As the moon cast an eerie glow over the dilapidated mansion, a sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air. The crumbling walls and overgrown ivy seemed to whisper tales of the past, warning all who dared to enter of the darkness that lurked within. One fateful night, a group of brave explorers ventured into the abandoned mansion, drawn by rumors of paranormal activity. As they cautiously made their way through the creaking halls, a chill ran down their spines, and the feeling of being watched sent shivers up their spines. Suddenly, a series of inexplicable events unfolded before their eyes. Doors slammed shut on their own, ghostly whispers echoed through the corridors, and shadowy figures darted just out of sight. Panic set in as the group realized they were not alone in the haunted mansion. With each passing moment, the tension mounted, building towards a heart-stopping climax that would leave the explorers questioning the very fabric of reality. What unseen forces were at play in the haunted mansion, and would they make it out alive? Encounter 2. The Ghostly Figure in the Woods. Deep in the heart of a secluded forest, a sense of isolation and fear permeated the air, as dense fog obscured the path ahead. The silence was deafening, broken only by the rustling of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl, creating an atmosphere of unease that seemed to seep into the very soul. As the protagonist ventured further into the woods, a sudden chill ran down their spine, and a feeling of being watched washed over them. Heart pounding, they turned to see a ghostly figure emerge from the mist, a spectral presence with hollow eyes and a tattered cloak that billowed in the wind. Frozen in terror, the protagonist could only watch as the ghostly figure glided closer, its ethereal form sending a wave of dread through their veins. With each step, the entity exuded an otherworldly aura that seemed to defy all logic and reason, leaving the protagonist paralyzed with fear. Would they escape the clutches of the ghostly figure in the woods, or become another lost soul in the forest's dark embrace? Encounter 3. The Phantom Hitchhiker. On a desolate road shrouded in darkness, the only sound that echoed through the night was the distant hum of the wind. The protagonist's headlights cut through the thick fog, illuminating the empty expanse ahead, save for a lone figure standing by the roadside, the Phantom Hitchhiker. As the protagonist's car drew closer, a sense of unease crept over them, for the hitchhiker appeared ethereal, their features obscured by shadows. With a hesitant heart, the protagonist rolled down the window, offering a ride to the mysterious stranger. Silence hung heavy in the air as the hitchhiker wordlessly entered the car, their presence sending a chill down the protagonist's spine. With each passing mile, the tension mounted, as the hitchhiker's gaze seemed to pierce through the darkness, unnerving the protagonist to their core. As the journey continued, a sense of dread enveloped the car, building towards a climax that would leave the protagonist questioning the nature of the Phantom Hitchhiker. Would they reach their destination unscathed, or would the encounter with the unseen presence lead to a chilling revelation? Encounter 4. The Cursed Doll. In a dimly lit room, a sense of foreboding hung heavy in the air as the cursed doll sat perched on a dusty shelf, its glassy eyes seeming to follow every movement with a malevolent gaze. The origins of the doll were shrouded in mystery, with whispers of a dark past that hinted at unspeakable horrors. Legend had it that the cursed doll was once a cherished toy, until a tragic event imbued it with a malevolent spirit. Since then, sinister events had plagued those who dared to come into contact with it, leaving a trail of fear and despair in its wake. As the protagonist found themselves in possession of the cursed doll, A sense of dread washed over them as inexplicable occurrences began to unfold. Objects moved on their own, eerie whispers filled the room at night, and a feeling of being watched haunted their every step. With each passing day, the malevolent presence of the cursed doll grew stronger, enveloping the protagonist in a web of terror that seemed impossible to escape. Would they be able to break the curse of the doll, or would they fall victim to its sinister influence, forever trapped in its malevolent grasp? Encounter 5. The Whispering Voices. Within the decaying walls of the abandoned building, a sense of unease permeated the air as shadows danced in the flickering light, and the silence was broken only by the faint rustling of unseen entities. The protagonist's footsteps echoed through the empty corridors, each one a reminder of the building's dark past. As they ventured deeper into the heart of the structure, a chorus of whispered voices filled the air, their words indiscernible yet filled with a haunting urgency. The protagonist's skin prickled with unease, as the voices seemed to come from all directions, surrounding them in a chilling symphony of sound. With each whispered message, the tension mounted, building towards a climax that would leave the protagonist questioning their sanity. Were the voices a figment of their imagination, or were they a manifestation of something more sinister lurking within the abandoned building? As the protagonist navigated the haunted location, the whispered voices grew louder, their words sending a chill down their spine. Would they uncover the truth behind the haunting whispers, or would they become lost in the darkness of the abandoned building, forever tormented by the unseen voices that echoed through its halls? Encounter 6. The Shadowy Apparition. In the dimly lit room, darkness clung to the walls like a shroud, casting long, twisting shadows that seemed to move of their own accord. The air was heavy with foreboding, as a sense of unease settled over the protagonist like a suffocating blanket. As they turned a corner, a figure materialized before them. A shadowy apparition with no discernible features, its form shifting and undulating in the dim light. The ominous presence of the figure sent a chill down the protagonist's spine, as a feeling of dread washed over them. Frozen in place, the protagonist watched in horror as the shadowy figure drew closer, its movements silent and deliberate. With each step, the tension mounted, building towards a peak that would leave the protagonist gasping for breath. As the encounter reached its climax, the shadowy apparition loomed over the protagonist, its presence suffocating and malevolent. Would they be able to escape the grasp of the shadowy figure, or would they become another victim of its haunting presence in the dimly lit room? Encounter 7. The Poltergeist Activity. In a once peaceful home, chaos reigned as poltergeist activity wreaked havoc on the unsuspecting inhabitants. It started with subtle disturbances, objects moving on their own, unexplained noises in the dead of night, but soon escalated into a terrifying ordeal that would forever change their lives. As the days passed, the poltergeist's presence grew stronger, its unseen hand causing furniture to levitate, doors to slam shut, and eerie whispers to fill the air. Fear gripped the inhabitants as they struggled to make sense of the escalating disturbances that seemed to have no logical explanation. Panic set in as the poltergeist's activity reached a fever pitch, with objects flying across the room, lights flickering uncontrollably, and a sense of malevolence hanging heavy in the air. The once peaceful home had become a battleground between the living and the unseen entity that sought to terrorize them. As the haunting phenomena reached its climax, the inhabitants braced themselves for the final showdown with the poltergeist, unsure if they would emerge unscathed from the terrifying ordeal that had turned their once tranquil home into a nightmare. Encounter 8. The Possessed Mirror. In a dimly lit room, a mirror hung on the wall, its surface marred by cracks and distortions that seemed to warp reality itself. The reflections within the mirror were unsettling, with figures appearing distorted and twisted, their features contorted in a grotesque manner that sent shivers down the protagonist's spine. As the protagonist gazed into the mirror, a malevolent presence seemed to emanate from within, its influence palpable in the air. Shadows danced across the glass, whispering dark secrets and foretelling of impending danger. With each passing moment, the mirror's malevolent influence grew stronger, its vengeful spirit seeking to ensnare the protagonist in its twisted web. The sense of dread that hung in the air was suffocating, as the protagonist realized they were no longer in control of their own reflection. As the mirror's power intensified, the protagonist found themselves trapped in a nightmarish reality, their very existence threatened by the vengeful spirit that lurked within the possessed mirror. Would they be able to break free from its malevolent grasp, or would they become another victim of its haunting influence? Encounter 9. The Phantom Footsteps. In the deserted hallway, silence reigned supreme, broken only by the eerie echo of phantom footsteps that seemed to reverberate through the empty space. The protagonist's heart raced as they strained to catch a glimpse of the unseen presence that haunted the corridor, their breath hitching with each chilling sound. The mysterious footsteps grew louder, their rhythm steady and relentless, sending a shiver down the protagonist's spine. The air was thick with anticipation as the phantom presence drew closer, its unseen form casting a shadow over the hallway. As the footsteps echoed ominously, the chilling effect on the protagonist intensified, their senses on high alert for any sign of the spectral entity that lurked nearby. Every hair on their body stood on end, as the suspense mounted to a fever pitch. With each passing moment, the phantom footsteps drew closer, their haunting cadence filling the hallway with a sense of dread. Would the protagonist uncover the truth behind the mysterious presence, or would they be consumed by the chilling echoes that seemed to lead them further into the unknown? Encounter 10. The Demonic Possession. In the dimly lit room, a sense of dread hung heavy in the air as signs of a malevolent presence began to manifest. The protagonist's behavior grew increasingly erratic, their eyes darkening with an otherworldly intensity, and their voice taking on a sinister tone that sent chills down the spine of all who heard it. As the demonic possession took hold, the room was consumed by a palpable sense of horror. Objects levitated, shadows danced in unnatural patterns, and a feeling of malevolence permeated every corner of the space. The protagonist's body contorted in unnatural ways, their movements jerky and disjointed as the demonic entity exerted its influence. Their eyes glowed with an otherworldly light, their voice a guttural growl that spoke of unspeakable horrors. As the possession reached its climax, a sense of unease and fear settled over all who witnessed the terrifying spectacle. The lingering presence of the demonic entity left a chill in the air, a reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the veil of reality. As we conclude our journey through 10 terrifying encounters with the unseen, we are left with a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks just beyond our perception. From haunted mansions to possessed mirrors, each encounter has brought us face to face with the unknown, sending shivers down our spines and leaving us questioning the nature of reality itself. The spine-tingling moments we've experienced serve as a thrilling reminder of the power of real-life scary stories and paranormal encounters to captivate and terrify us in equal measure. The eerie atmosphere, the unsettling events, and the malevolent entities that have haunted our protagonist have kept us on the edge of our seats, craving more of the unknown. We encourage you, our viewers, to subscribe for more spine-tingling content and to share your own encounters with the unseen. Together, we can continue to explore the darker side of reality and uncover the secrets that lie hidden in the shadows. Stay tuned for more bone-chilling tales that will keep you up at night and leave you questioning what lies beyond the veil of our world.